Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Kevin here. So pretty much today, I hope you guys are having a great day today. It's still night out. Still recording this. It's the same day I've been recording all the other videos. But anyway, today we're actually going to do the entire build. It's around 1:30 in the morning, but I don't care anyway. I can't sleep, so I just want to get started on this build. So let's see how this plays out. I'm probably going to do a couple hours. Probably not going to end up finishing it tonight. It's probably going to be done over 3 days, so let's see how this goes. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, I just want to thank you guys for anybody who was watching all the way until now, helping me grow the channel back. So I appreciate you guys joining. Please like, rate, subscribe, help the algorithm. Bring the views up and whatnot, and then help grow the channel. I appreciate you guys who just starting out. So without you guys, this channel won't be anywhere. But yeah, with continuous time and growing and whatnot, I think it'll get better. But anyway, so the plan is, let's do this. So the plan is to put that big kit over here on that e-bike. I mean, that bike right there. So pretty much, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to walk you through step by step what needs to be done, and then we'll go from there. So first things first, before we go ahead and get started, pretty much just going to do a quick walkthrough of what you need. We have our bike pump right here. We have a hammer. Don't mind this. This is just my battery charger. What is it, for my portable battery and whatnot? Whether it's for phones, Phones, GoPros, things like that. So we got hammer. We have our connectors here, nuts and bolts for different connections. Wire loom, zip ties, manuals right here, how to install everything. We have our speed sensor. We have a couple of extra XC60 connectors. That is a XC60, and for this e-bike, unfortunately, it comes with an XT90, so we gotta do a little bit of splicing on the wheel, but that's gonna be simple. That's what we have the big tool set for, with all the wire splitters and whatnot, and our wire cutter with the splitter, and then we'll be able to crimp it down, no problem. Put some zip ties, some electrical tape, solder it up, things like that. So with that being said, we have a pair of working gloves, zip ties, electrical tape, more connectors. These are just a bunch of extra connectors that I got. We got the front and rear torque stabilizers, because with an e-bike you're gonna want that, especially when you start approaching 3,000 and up, which is where we're at. I'm only gonna push it to around 3,000 because I want to see where it goes. I would love to do an 8,000 watt or 10,000 watt build, but right now I just want to see how it is with 3,000 watt and then go from there. So pretty much we have all the torque stabilizers right here. We have the nut to be able to do the sensor with. To pull out the front gear cassette and be able to put that speed sensor. That's what the hammer is for. That's what the nut's for. We have our brakes. We have our grips and throttle. We have our BMS. And we have our BMS and computer. We have pretty much the case for it. We have our LCD screen. We have our tool set. We have our chain tensioner and other tools in there. And we have our big 3,000 watt wheel motor, or hub motor, really, that's what I should say. So first things first, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put, in the meantime, because the battery takes so long to charge, I just figured the first thing first to do is put the battery in and let it charge up. So let's go ahead and do that. This is a 5 amp charger for the battery. So pretty much I'm just gonna plug it right in, power it up, and now it's charging. As you can see there, it's pretty much on full battery, but I'm just gonna let it charge up in the meantime. It's still gonna take an hour or so for it to charge, even where it's at, because I think it was like a 9 or 12 hour charging time for it is what was stated. So let's go ahead and begin. first things first, let me show you what the first step is. I'll be right back. Alright, so first things first, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a microfiber towel and some cleaners. I'm just going to use some all-purpose cleaner right now, just so that this way I can wipe down as much as I can. There's more, what is it? There's definitely better cleaners out there, but for the sake of this video, and the bike is just so dirty, I don't really want to work on a dirty bike. I should have washed it better, but it's all right. So this is what I'm gonna do. So pretty much first step is to just clean it. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it really quick, and then we'll get on to the next step. Now that the bike is clean, so they're already looking a lot better. Next thing to do is pretty much flip the bike over, and then take off the rear wheel and pretty much just mount it. So let's go ahead and do this. That'll work. All right, so first things first is going to take off this rear wheel, take out the air, and then pretty much we're just going to go from there. There we go. Pull it out from here. Okay, now what we're gonna do is first of all, we're gonna take this off. Okay. Okay. Now what we're gonna do okay, so and then we move this out of the way, get that, then get Allen keys. Okay. So now, okay, got the tire and the brake off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to route everything through here. Give me just a second. Let me get this through. And then what I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to push it through here. This thing comes out. Yep, it does. Because this goes over the wheel. Yep. But before I do that, this is a, okay, hold on. Okay. I realized I gotta pull this back out, so take these, take this out. Now put this, then put that through. Here, there you go. Okay. So pretty much what I'm doing now is I'm assembling the brake or the brake caliper on the onto the wheel. and pretty much it's just as simple as tying these, although I should probably tie those as well, but that's fine. And then this, you're gonna want to go in a star pattern. Hey guys, so I just wanted to give you a quick update on the build. I know I said I was gonna, show you guys the whole process and all that, but we unfortunately, while filming this, we hit quite a few snags, and right now this is actually about 2 days later. Actually 2 evenings later. It's Sunday evening, and pretty much I just want to give you a full-on update of where we're at the moment. The bike is pretty much done. We have a lot of kinks that I still got to work out. I'm still waiting on a brake sensor. Another thing was when I actually did the install, the wheel itself turns out wasn't the right wheel, so it was actually too small. Got in contact with the seller, and pretty much we're just trying to get that all settled. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as where we're at the moment. Everything else is pretty much set and dandy. What I'm planning on doing, I think I'm just gonna go to my local bike shop and get a brake sensor. There's a e-bike shop about maybe 6 blocks up the road from me, so I'm gonna stop by there and probably go get a sensor tomorrow, and maybe do some tightening up. So not only did I have issues with the wheel, I had a lot of issues with the chain, and pretty much that's about it as far as shortening it up. I couldn't transfer over to the gear cassette in the rear, so it's pretty much stuck as a fixie. But anyway, that's not a problem with me. I don't mind it. Pretty much I've always wanted to own a fixie anyway, so I guess this is my first fixie, I guess. So we'll see how it goes, and then pretty much, yeah, that's about it. So I plugged everything up, and I'm still getting an error because of the brake sensor, which I was saying that I'm gonna go take care of tomorrow and see what they want to do. Actually, I have to go do my brakes anyway and get a whole new ordeal with them and whatnot. So I'm gonna go see what they recommend. But anyway, this is what the bike looks like. So that's pretty much it. So you got the wheel that's attached. I think I gotta I gotta shorten up the chain a little bit more. There is quite a bit of slack, like right over there. That's quite a lot, so I'm just gonna shorten it up even more. I do have to fix all that wiring. I'm gonna organize that nicely, but that is all connected. I want to see what plugs into what first before I start tightening up and doing all the zip ties and all that. And then that's pretty much it. So power it on, right? You have that really loud sound. The first time I ever heard that scared the living crap out of me. But yeah, so coming up with a brake error. Does power on. Pretty much I gotta set it from kilometers an hour per hour to miles per hour, but that's pretty simple. I got 4 brake levers. I think I'm just gonna keep the hydraulic ones and see how that goes from there. That's why I wanted to go talk to him tomorrow, see what the best option is, what you guys think as well. But yeah, I got the battery hooked up. I gotta redo all the wiring, clean it all up, and then put it from there. So what happened was with that wheel. So with that wheel, first time around, the tire and the tube were too big. And so I went by the local bike shop, got a different size tire. And the first tire I ended up getting was a 29-inch tire. That's what I originally ordered. That's what I originally ordered. Anyway, so pretty much what I did was realized the tire was too big, the tube and tire were too big. Then ended up going to the bike shop, grabbed a new tire, ended up going with a 650 by 47 the first time. Then I found out that that tube and tire is actually too small. So I ended up going back, returning the tire and the tube, and then I ended up going with a 700 by 38, which ended up being the right size. So it is a 700C by 38 in the rear, and I think it's still 29 in the front, but I can deal with that. That's not an issue. So yeah, pretty much. And I ended up getting a 700C by 38 first time around, tube tire, and rim tape, and I put the tire and the tube on, and along with the the rim tape, and first tube popped, right? So I figured, okay, well, just time to go buy another tube for the third time. So went back to the bike shop, bought another tube, and again put it in, and it popped. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what exactly is going on? So I took the tire, went to a local bike shop with me. Took the tire and the wheel, went to the local bike shop, and we found out that the rim tape that I was using was not thick enough. We actually needed either a second layer or a thicker tape. So what we ended up doing was we removed the rim tape that I originally used. It was too thin. We put a thicker one, and then put a side of electrical tape all the way around, so this way we could just hold it up and make sure that it was good, just for extra precaution. And then put a brand new tube in there, put the tire over it, and it held up just fine. Pretty much everything from there, it's now just making sure that it's all connected and all that, good to go. Pretty much everything is done on the bike. I just need to work out all the kinks now. So other than that, we're pretty much all set. And then yeah, so next thing is going to be is just riding around, doing test runs, and go from there. Alright guys, what's going on? So just wanted to give a quick update of what's going on with the bike build. First things first. Well, I just wanted to let you guys know that it is running, thankfully. There are still minor kinks to it. I did fix a lot of the wiring. I went back in and soldered all the wires, so pretty much I just wanted to let you guys know that a lot of the main wires are already soldered. The battery to the power and ground is soldered. The wires to the controller are soldered. The wires to the motor are soldered for all the power and ground units, and the ignition wire is soldered as well. As far as the brake sensor goes, I realized that the brake sensor or the bike itself will actually disable the motor if I run the sensor. So I think I'm just gonna run no sensor at all, and just let it cut out just by letting off the throttle and just adjust how I ride. Because for some reason, if I run no sensor, the bike runs no problem. But if I plug the sensors in, the bike is basically disabling itself, putting itself in limp mode, and won't even allow you to ride it. And I think that's because the other sensor is still not plugged in for the front gears. I think the front cog. If you pull that off, then I can be able to install the sensor. I don't have the tools for that, so I figured, it would just be easier to run without it. So I just ordered a chain, so this way I can get that and get that taken care of. I realized the issue that I ran into is that in order to run it properly, I need to run it as a fixed gear. So I'm in the process of trying to figure out what size front gear I need to run and what size chain, and that's where I'm stuck at the moment. But as far as the bike itself goes, the bike itself runs. I ride it around on the street, no problem. I think I put about 100 miles on it altogether. You'll see that in later videos altogether. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So I managed to go ahead and solder all these wires here. Right here, these are all soldered. This is soldered, that's soldered, that's soldered. I know I did a terrible taping job, but it is what it is right now. I'm just gonna run it and go from there. But those wires are soldered, and this is all taken care of. These are all tucked away and whatnot as best as they can be. That's tucked away all the way along here, and then I tucked the wires all the way across. I still have the brake sensor wire right over here and whatnot. The wires themselves are still here. Like if you look at this running all the way across, these are pretty much disconnected, but they're still here. And they pretty much just sit up here the whole time. I still got to figure out what I want to do with them, and then try and see if I can get them connected somehow without it going into limp mode. But the bike itself is, you know, running just fine. It charges up. I've been running it for about, I want to say, a week and a half at the moment, you know, before making this update altogether, and, you know, just making sure everything runs and whatnot, and then going from there. These are all connected, so like let's say if I power it on, all right, let me disconnect that first, power this on, and the bike runs. It goes through all the power assists and everything. I'm not gonna run it in here because the throttle, you know, I don't want the thing to shoot straight into the wall. But it is so it is still running and whatnot. I still do have to work on the brake, and I got the brake fluid coming in. And then what is it? I'll make a video while I'm. You'll see my later videos of me doing this part, making sure that this is all taken care of and wired correctly. Wired correctly. It is already wired. I mean, it's hydraulic line, so it's pretty much just going to be bleeding the brakes and getting that all taken care of. But the issue that I did run into is kind of a major one, I believe. So there is a clearance issue with the back. I stretched it out as much as I can, but I'm still dealing with the brake caliper literally rubbing against the wheel. And I don't know if it's gone through and if it's gone through and I guess if it's gone through and actually put a hole in the fluid. I don't think so. I think that's just it just burned off the excess on the outside, and then that's just, it is what it is, because it kind of stopped rubbing at the moment. But I think, you know, that's just from regular riding. I pulled it out as much as I could so that I could stretch it out properly, and yeah, that's pretty much it at the moment. I think I'm just gonna try and get a new caliper altogether before I even do the brakes, but we'll see. I'm going to try bleeding the brakes first, see how that goes, and if it bleeds the brakes just fine and holds pressure, then I'm just not going to do anything and just leave it as is. But if not, then I'm going to put a whole new caliper on there and stretch it out even farther out, and then go from there and see how that goes. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the bike build goes. Other than that, I still got to get a chain for the rear, and, you know, just connect it up and then go from there, and then see how that goes. But yeah, pretty much with the bike itself, it's pretty much done. Next thing I'm gonna do is probably just get turn signals and a front headlight, and then just run it as it is, and it's pretty much an electric motorcycle at that point. So yeah, so we'll see you guys in the later on videos. This is a mostly recent update that I have of it, and take care.